I was only 15, 16 at the time, and it was a big move for me. Obviously going across the world to play football. So exciting though. I think when the chance came about, I jumped at it. I was a little bit disappointed because at the time I'd been on the bench and coming off the bench in the Premiership, but never really got a foothold in the team. And I actually probably stayed a couple of years, maybe too long. I maybe should have gone out and played a bit of football further down, But it got to the stage where I got advice from people to sort of just take a step down and play football, And the thing is, you get your name out there, and there's always an opportunity for you if people see you on display rather than being, on the bench and not coming on. So it was a big shock, just the style of football, just the facilities, all those sort of things. So it was a big shock. But I'd been out on loan, which probably helped as well. I went on loan to Leyton Orient when I was younger, so that was pretty similar in that respect. But yeah, for me, it was something that I had to do to try and make my way back up, I suppose. When I moved to Hull, the year we played against them in the Championship that year, I think they just avoided relegation. But I know that when we played against them in Hull, they had 20,000, and they were struggling for relegation. So when I spoke to the chairman and the manager at the time, he really sold me the club and their vision that they wanted to be in the Premiership. Yeah, look, having the taste at 18, 19 years old to play in the Premiership, and then always being on the brink and never really sort of getting a foothold in it, that was always my plan, to stay and drop down to then come back up, and then to finally get back and actually play in the Premiership was almost like, all your hard work's paid off, and everything that you've done has been for a reason, it hasn't been in vain. So for me, it was fantastic. It's something that I don't think many people realise, is that it's very demanding on your life, not just on your body, but on every aspect of your life. Family as well have to go through the ups and downs with you, and just the journey to get there. I mean, not everyone's going to get there in their first attempt. Like me, I'm the perfect example of that. I sort of got there and then had to readjust my goals and readjust my pathway. But I had a lot of setbacks, I had a lot of injuries and stuff like that. So nobody sees the real hard yards that you have to put in to actually get there. They only see that you got there, and I think that's the more important bit. The hard yards to get there is the more important bit than actually being there. It's the pinnacle of football, really, to play in the World Cup. I don't think many players get that opportunity to play at that level. And knowing that there's people from all around the world watching as well. So for me, it was a fantastic experience. Look, we did okay. We probably didn't set the world alight at the World Cup, but it was, since 2006 we had high expectations, so that that was a bit of added pressure. But yeah, as a whole, it was fantastic. Look, I always sort of had it in my mind that I'd had my son and my daughter had just been born, so I sort of had it in my mind that once my son got of a schooling age, that I'd want to come back and set the family up at home. So it was a bit more of a family decision rather than a footballing decision. But I also had that goal in mind also. I always wanted to come back and play in Australia, and I didn't want to come back at a late stage, at the 35s and 36s, where I probably felt that I wouldn't have enough to give back, and I feel like I'm at that stage where I have got enough to still give back to the game, Willingness to keep improving and the willingness to win, most players that are playing at the top have that mindset that they want to be winners no matter where they're playing, and they'll show it whether they're playing in a youth team game or a reserve game or a practice match. So, just that willingness to win all the time, and you've got to have that all the time, I think.